Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical. This is Mystical Gaming. We're jumping into Watcher Realms and we've just had the patch drop on the Forerunner. So this is the Forerunner server, okay? We've got Malrik who's turned up on the set now. So we can go and see him. We'll do him later on. There'll be links to chapters below so you can hop around to the bits you want to do. Now, let's jump into the boring stuff to start with. So this is the new demon that's dropping and she's had a subtle change. It now, upon death, inflicts 1 stack of Mortal Curse to enemy heroes within 2 tiles. There we go. And what Mortal Curse does is it reduces damage by 10%, stacking up to 8 times. Okay, there we go. That change has been done there. That's that done. Now, the other thing, I think I went back to playing Raid when this came out. So here she is. Now, we've got all her abilities and stuff like that, and they've all been changed, which is fine for people who have got her. The thing about her that's worth noting, more than anything else, is she's got a basic attack, she's got an ultimate, she's then got passive 1, she's then got passive 2. Now, I thought this passive was going, and it is being replaced, but it's not. She's getting an additional passive. So she's got a third passive. If we look there, Exterrent Wisdom increases all mages' damage by 6%. Only takes effect when Carosa is in the team. Now, it doesn't say on the battlefield, so there'll have to be some checking with that. But it just says in the team. So it's, to me, it's more like a Lord skill or something like that, where if you pick up 10 people and she's one of them, she hasn't got me on the battlefield, she could be one of those 2 spare slots that you've got, and all of a sudden all your mages are getting an extra 6% damage. A lot of good mages in the game. If we have a look, these are all the mages that, and it's not faction orientated, it's straight up all mages get 6% damage boost. I mean, fantastic. I mean, you'd pick her if you had a full team of 8 that you were using, just to sit in the cheap seats and give everyone else a damage buff. Absolutely fantastic. So just on that alone, she's worth a shout, surely. So last time she was in the game, this is how she came last time. She was a time limited fusion event. Now, fusion, remember, that's where you get your epics. You make your epics up to 50 and 5-star, and then you put them all together and you make this new champion, much like Salazar and Micah, who's in the fusion, and there's some epics in there as well. So, but she was a time limited fusion. If you have a look on the date, it was about 2 years ago. So there you go. That's the last time that she was in there, and there was an epic as well. So that was the time limited fusion event. So whether they're going to do that again as an anniversary event, I don't know. Just speculation. But there we go. So she was a time limited fusion event. Very weird. Haven't seen it since then. Who knows? Might be coming back, or she might make a permanent release into the game. But there we go. That's her. So next part that's in the game is Augmentation. We're going to do artifact augmentation first, then we'll go on to gear, then we'll going to look at the keystones and do the runs and that sort of stuff. Okay, so right, so Augmentation. Now, if you've got your artifact and it's all leveled up to 25, you'll see at the bottom it says Augment, whereas normally it's got Promote, that gets swapped with Augment. So there we go, that's the difference. So once you've got it leveled up, you can then go and augment it. Now, when you come over to it, there are 3 options. You've got Common Augmentation. So if you select Common Augmentation, we've got 4 chances there. You can level up HP or attack from 50 to 1600, or from 25 to 480. Okay, so there's your limiting range. Now, if you do the Advanced Augmentation, you're then going from 200 to 4000, or from 40 to 1200. So if you've got a good roll on the Common, then I'm not 100% sure I would jump in and do an advanced one on it, because there's a margin that you could roll lower. So there we go. That's something for you to bear in mind. Now, then you've got your Runic Augmentation, and that's going to give you an extra attribute attached to it. So the attributes you're going to get are this little lot. There we go. That's what you can get in there. I mean, 15% attack. I mean, it's quite substantial, some of these. Okay, so that's That's quite good. I mean, they're not easy to get by the looks of it, and we'll cross that as we come on to it. But certainly the lower ones, for these common here, just to give yourself a straight up, I don't know, a couple of hundred extra attack is a nice thing, and a couple of hundred health onto one of your artifacts. It's a good little thing. I think it's quite nice. So these common augmentations are quite easy to get hold of. I think the advanced ones are going to be all right, and the runic ones, yeah, if you're in game, maybe I'll see one, maybe I won't at anytime soon. But there we go. That's the availability of those. Now, if we'll have a quick look, here's Hex's artifact. So you can augment it twice. I can go back in and do it again. You didn't get particularly good rolls. In fact, you got bottom on attack, but you can. I did it twice, and it rolled once on the HP and once on the attack. So there you go. You can do it twice and get both stats done if you want to. Whether it would re-roll one and I was just lucky that it rolled the other one, I don't know. There we go. That is artifact augmentation, all done and dusted. That's about it. Well, we'll discuss where we get them from in a minute. Okay. So the next thing is gear. So when we click on gear now, it's changed down the bottom. So we now have Foundry, quick exchange, and then we have Gem Enhancement. So Gem Enhancement brings us to this page. It all looks a bit much at the time, but it is pretty good. It's not too bad. So you can select recast. Now when you select recast, it brings up all the stuff that you can recast with. Okay, so you've got your normal gear sets and things you can filter through, and you can select, but there's all your stuff that you can recast. You've then got refine, and when you click on refine, it brings up a load of stuff for you to add into it, and that's what you can refine. Advanced refine generates the stat of one selected secondary attribute on ancient, exclusive and variant gear while preserving the other attributes. So when you click on that, it will just bring up the gear that's eligible for it. Okay, so it won't bring up any stuff that's not eligible, and then you just select it and you can add it. Okay, and when we select it, there we go, we can then select which one we want, attribute we want to do. Okay, so that's that one out of the way. And then now the same works for the other ones as well. So Darkfall Gem Enhancement enhances the primary attribute of mythic or higher gear. So there's no higher than mythic yet, so maybe that's coming. So if we select, there you go, we've selected a piece of gear. Now when we want to change it, we can select the piece that we want to change. I haven't got any to change it with, but there you go. You can see it will go from we've got plus 0% at the moment, but we will go from 1 to 5%. Okay, these are the other attributes as well. So for your main stats, they're the main stats that you can get on there. Okay, so there you are. They're all the main stats that can be changed, and by how much you'll be changing them by. Now, judging by the rarity of these are going to be, I will be surprised if people start doing flat stats, but there you go. Now this next one is really interesting. Okay, Evolution Gem Enhancement. It transforms tier 1 mythic or higher gear into tier 2, tier 3 gear of the same part, whilst preserving its secondary attributes. So it's just going to make it into a tier 2 or tier 3 item. Okay, right, now a couple of things we need to look at first. So if we jump into the Foundry and I wish to ascend a piece of gear, I'm going to take a breastplate, and one of the breastplates I'm going to take is, I want to enhance, for example, I got a might set, so I can't enhance my might set. I can't ascend my might set, should I say. Now if I come here and come into the evolution, I can come here and I can gear set Annihilating Might. There we go. I can select a piece of Annihilating Might, select a piece of Annihilating Might, I can chuck it in and I can add that. There we go. And when I select it, I can now change that into a tier 2 or tier 3 piece. Won't change that one, but I mean, you can change it. So what will it become? It become a Warlord or a Wicked Vengeance piece. It's a DPS piece, so it's going to go over to be another DPS piece. Okay, there you go. So you can now change up all your old tier 1 stuff that you thought was good, but you were upset that you couldn't ascend it. You can now do it this way round. Okay. The other thing to bear in mind now, if I change this item, I'll stick with the same gear set. Annihilating Might. There we go. Now, if I take an ancient piece and add that, that will now take 2 of the tokens. So ancient pieces tend to take 2, whereas non-ancients, it would appear, take 1. Okay, and that's the same with variant stuff as well. So if you've got a variant piece, then it will change over to that as well. Now, again, there we go, Wicked Vengeance. Now let's just do one last thing. If we pick a piece up here and we will select a gear set that we can't change, so what have we got? Let's select, so there we go, we've selected a sticks piece. Now if I add that and I want to if I add that, I can then change that and sticks will then become one of the other pieces as well. So all those odd sets that you got will now become, I don't say useful, but there's a chance that you might find a use for them. So again, you might have to update your gear selector on what you actually want. So Glacier, there we go. I do seem to get a lot of ancient Glacier stuff. So if I add that, all of a sudden my Glacier stuff, we've got Unshaken Will or Tempered Will. So maybe there we go. So yeah, big changes there. The evolution gem does seem to be very usable. Okay, variant gem enhancement grants 1 variant attribute to ancient mythic weapon or bangle, transforms it into variant gear. So you can only select a weapon or a bangle. There we go. So we will select this piece and we will add it, and then I will then select the gem that I want to put on it. Now this is really good just as a standalone thing, random variant attribute. If you have a little search on it, you can then see all the possibilities of variant gear that you can get, all the buffs that you can get on it. Okay, there we are, they're all here. Okay, that's absolutely fantastic. There we are, that's that one done. Right, next one. So transmute gem, okay, changes the type of one selected secondary attribute on ancient, mythic and variant gear while preserving its progress bar. So all those times you rolled up and got a terrible roll on something that you thought was a useless stat, crit damage. Right, so I'm just going to select this piece, add that in. Now if I want to change it, I can then select that and I get this, so it gives me a transmutable there. So if I had one, I could change this into something else, another stat. It doesn't say which other stats, but it does seem to have the bulk of them there. Whether that's the only stats you could get, I don't know. Attack percentage isn't there, but I don't know. I think that's just a graphic more than anything else, but who knows. So there we go, that's gem enhancement, and the gem enhancement is for your gear. Right, so that covers off artifacts, how you upgrade them. It covers up your gear, how you upgrade them, and the different bits that you usable there. Okay, the question is, where did you get your stuff from to do it? So you get them from in here. So this is the Hall of Illusions, and you get them through rewards for doing trials within the Hall of Illusions. Okay, so all of these keystones drop from gear raids. They only drop from gear raids 1, 2 and 3, and they only drop from, I think, really well done on the game side. They don't drop from stages 18, but stage 19, as soon as you've cleared a stage 19, you can then start getting the uncommon and the rare keystones. Okay, from stage 21 onwards, you then start getting the epic keystone. Okay, level 3 trial, level 2 trial and level 1 trial. So there are the differences there, and there is a reason, if you're like me and lazy, you've pushed up to 22 and thought, well, it's just RNG now, so it's not an issue. Stage 24 is the only place where you will get your level 4 trial, your legendary keystones from. Okay, so something for you to be aware of. So how often do they drop? Now, for me, and a bit of a warning, when I first logged into the game, I didn't use it. You get a free one when you first get into the game. There's one already there for you. My advice is use that free one as soon as you get there, because I did 89 runs on the Tireless Raider and I got 0 keystones. Everyone else seemed to be getting them, and then once I'd used it, I started getting a lot more drops. Okay, so I was probably getting them on average at the moment about 1 in 10, something like that, I think, runs. So they're not too uncommon. Okay, what you get, what keystone you get is sort of a bit hit and miss, but there you go. That's where you get them from. So there you are. You then select and insert your keystone. There we are. and then it gives you some information up here. Now the first thing it does, when you select the first one, it will say insert as we did there, and then it will flash down here to challenge on your sort of, when you first get your first one. Don't do that. Come up here and have a look at the map. It's the first thing you want to do. Now the map will only tells you what's going on, but it also tells you who's coming on what waves, that sort of thing, and their respective armor skills and that sort of thing. Okay, and if you've selected, change this, if you selected something with a boss in there, there you go, boss, when you come up here it will tell you on what stages the boss will appear. So wave 5, that's when the boss is going to appear, okay, and it gives you a rundown on the boss's ability. So make sure you have a look at that, make sure you do it, and it doesn't matter what keystone you choose, these do change, okay. So even at lower levels, when you search one of these, there's our one of that multipliers as they used to be classed as you do the tower, so they're up there, and then as you change for essentially the same one, these do change as well, okay. So just bear that in mind. There isn't an auto fight for this, I haven't seen an auto fight, but there you go. Question keeps popping up about keystones, right, so let's not get confused about the different types of keystone, okay. When we have a look at our gear aids, okay, we can see the keystones we get, they start from stage 19. Now you can get common and rare keystones, and that works all the way up to stage 24. Stage 24 is where you get legendary keystones from. Now the keystones here that drop, okay, keystone, that is a level 1 trial, that is a level 2 trial, that is a level 3 trial, that is a level 4 trial, okay. That is how the keystones work. They are the levels of the keystones, and once we jump into our keystone, our Hall of Illusions, we can see we've got levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 going up there, okay, and the keystones match accordingly, although within each level you can have uncommon, rare, epic, legendary and mythic keystones within each level, okay. So bear that in mind. You'll get you get the level from the gear aid, and then that will either give you a uncommon, rare, epic, legendary or mythic keystone within that level that it's giving you for that gear aid, okay. It's a little bit confusing, but once you see it a couple of times you'll get used to it, okay. So this is what you get when you first come in. So this is my first run through, okay. So you get given that free one, make sure you use it, because it appears that others don't drop. Maybe they fixed it, I've reported it back, but whether it's a bug or whether it's just RNG on my part, I don't know. You have got a filter so you can check sort of the levels you want to go to, or the trials. At the moment the only trial available that I've seen is the Black Sewer. I presume by the way they're looking at it, they look like they're going to do a load more of these as well, so that's good news, right. So you have all those options as well, and filters that you could use later on. Maybe if you're getting close to the 50, then that might be something you consider, but at the moment I'm using them up fairly quickly and I'm just smashing through them as quickly as I can, okay. Right, so the other thing to bear in mind is this first one, or at least these lower level ones, are actually really good. The bit that's really good about them is it's only 440k BP, which is, I think, doable for everyone. But when you've done it, go up there, check the map, have a look at the map. Map down here will tell you the mobs you're going to meet, what levels you're going to meet them on, tells you about their armor, their abilities, that sort of stuff, okay. Now once the trial begins, it cannot be restarted. Exit midway through will trigger immediate settlement, and the trial keystones will not be returned. Do not prompt me again if you want to start, okay. There we go. Now we've had a look at the map because we're not stupid, and we know there are only 3 platforms. So we've taken a pair of healers, we've taken one ranged DPS, we've taken a Pope because he can hit everywhere, can't he? He's absolutely fantastic for that. And then we've taken a pair of tanks because again we've looked at the map and we know that there's only 2 outs, so we don't want to go careful with that. I'll put some videos out closer to the time when the patch is about to drop, so we'll see how low we can get our BP to actually get through some of these lower levels, that sort of thing, okay. So if you've got a younger account, then yeah, it'd be nice to hear from your sort of gear you're looking at. If you're doing gear raids 19, it'd be nice to know what sort of BP you're looking at, and sort of a trial account that we can sort of try and match some of the gear on to have a look at how low we can go. Make sure they're doable, but I think 440 is doable for that sort of level of account. So that's absolutely fantastic. But there we go. We started to place our heroes down. Now some of the heroes are going to do well. Now when we had a look through that map, it showed us the mobs were going to attack. Now most of them came with common armor. That's not an issue because they're fine with all sorts of attack. And then it was common armor and heavy armor. Now we know heavy armor takes 20% more damage from magic attacks, so we're going to try and stack ourselves. As it's mostly platform based, or sorry, not platform based, it's mostly ground based, then what we want to do is make sure that we've got fighters who do magic damage. That's for the bulk of the people I'm using. So tank, healers, and then we're looking for fighters with a bit of range and do magic attack as well. Okay, so they're the ones that are coming in most useful for us. Now we've already got one of the purple chests. They seem to randomly drop off the mobs, so there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. I've seen at the moment. I might find out that I was wrong later, but it's only my first run through, so please forgive me if I'm wrong. That's pretty much it. And then as we go through the fight, they tend to drop randomly, and they pick themselves up. You haven't got to click on them or anything like that. They just randomly drop from mobs, and then they go up there, and you'll see a sort of tally of how many you've got grow. And that's essentially it. It's easy for me because I've got an account that's much greater than this, but certainly for younger accounts, I think it's a good thing. The things you're going to get from here are going to enable you to augment your artifacts. Okay, so that extra attack, that extra HP on all your artifacts is actually going to help you out. I think will push you on to get further. Okay, so. Now, a quick one for you while you're playing this. Now, you've got the portals coming down here as well. Now, on the first one, that bottom lane there on the far right-hand side, a portal appears there for one of them to come out with. On some of the other levels, it varies. Sometimes it comes at that one, sometimes it comes at that top lane on that far right-hand side as well, to the right of where I've got my Sun Wukong. Okay, so various different options for you there that will happen. The maps change, or that subtle change carries on there. And then as you can see, our chests are now one legendary, and then we've got two of the epic chests. Right, so here we are, getting to the end of the fight. We've got the last sort of 10 mobs to do now. As you can see, our chests have grown. We've now got 2 of the legendary ones, 4 of the epic ones. That's not... We'll discuss that in a minute when we go to the chests. They've done that horrible thing again where you can get rare versions or epic versions of the chest type you get. Absolutely. Possibly my most hated thing in the game, to be honest. There we go. That's it done. Fight's done. Nice and easy. No great shakes. And I'm sure that everyone who's getting them can easily qualify. So there we go. We've got 3 legendary, 4 epic chests. Now you have to open them. So there is what you can get in that one. Okay. And there is, close that and have a look in the rare one. That's what you get in the epic ones. Sorry. Okay. So the epic ones aren't as good. There's nothing special in them. You have to get to the legendary chests to actually stand a chance of getting some of the good rewards. Okay. And you can't go any further without opening them. Once you've done your run, you have to open up your chests. So there we go. Now, I got both epic chests, but I have on other runs got a rare chest, so it comes with like a little blue tinge around it as well. So I'm presuming I'm getting lesser rewards than out of the chest that I could have got. It's just quite annoying. Then what you do here is you see everything that you've got, and then as you can see, we've got 4, 5, 6, 7 shards, and we've got 60k gold. And then on your next screen, when you tip on the next screen, it will add those all up together for you, and you just see like a shortened version of what you've actually got within that chest. Okay, or from that run. There we go. There's the completed rewards obtained. There, the rewards I got from it. Not fantastic. There are people that got loads better than that. And that's it. That's the first run complete. So that's it. That's everything covered. We now know how to do our artifacts. We know how to do our gear, and we know how to do. We know where to get our keystones from, and we know absolutely make sure you use your free one first. I don't know if it's a bug, if it's intended like that, or what. I don't know if it doesn't register that you can get those rewards until such time as you've done one of the runs beforehand. I haven't got a clue. Okay, maybe it's just bad RNG on my part. I don't know, but certainly when I go with my global account, the first thing I'll be doing is using that first soul stone or that first keystone before I go and do any other runs. Okay, now I hope that's helped you out. If you've got any other questions, put them down in the comments below. Thank you very much for your time. If you could leave me the old thumbs up, like and subscribe, would help me out massively, and I will see you all in a video again soon. Cheers, thank you very much, goodbye.